Hey again, everybody. Um, Today I want to talk on a quote that I heard recently, um, and something that I think is a very important thing for everybody to think about at one point or another in their lives. Um, and that is the quote is, every person has two lives, and the second begins when they realize they only have one. Um, and so this is something that I think people need to think about more often. Um, Something that I need to think about more often, especially when you get caught up in those mental loops and you get caught up in those temporary things, um, those things that don't really matter, you know, um, because it's a good way to step back and look at. It's a similar thought to my video on that the time will pass anyway. That you have one life. Um, Realizing that you only have one, um, makes you want to change things. Makes you want to enjoy every moment. Makes you want to work harder and do better for yourself, and because it's your one life. It is entirely yours. It's nobody else's. And this is something that definitely for me right now is applicable for school and for what I am planning on doing, next in my life. And today, I met with one of my counselors, one of my advisors, and spoke about changing one of my minors and talked about how what that would look like and kind of how things are going to look moving forward when it comes to my education. And he was very, very helpful. I gained a lot of insight, and I understand how the program works a lot better. So, very much worth it. If you ever are stuck academically, those resources are there, you know, for a reason. And they do help. And I know there's a feeling of there's a feeling of it's a hard to describe feeling when you're caught up in these temporary things and you're caught up in the way somebody looked at you or this small interaction that you had. you know I know I have those things, and that's in yesterday's video I talked about smiling at somebody on your way to class or on your way to anything. And I woke up today thinking about that, and I was in a very optimistic mood, really good mood on my way to class. I felt very cheery. I did smile at a couple people, and I was kind of surprised at how many people were actually looking up, because it really depends on the day, the time of day. It kind of seems like. And it was nice because, a lot of other people seemed like they were in good moods too. But the people that stood out, you could tell some people weren't in good moods. And it's the people like that that are the most important to smile at. Um, and so this brings me to bring it back to today's topic. You have this one life, and realizing that you have this one life makes you want to begin a second. Makes you want to change a lot about what your life is and the way you think and what you're doing. And I think it's very powerful to relate this to that social thing that I was talking about yesterday, and of smiling at people, just being that happy happy side character in somebody's life, because they also have that one life, and maybe it's not going very great for them right now. And so that smile or that reaching out can really, it can go so far. And I'm getting a little emotional talking about this because today was a roller coaster. Today started off very well. I was in a good mood for the most part today. And I got a lot done. I'll be driving home tomorrow, so I'm excited for that. I have some good things happening, and so I was at a pretty high place, mentally for most of the day. And there was an event for my apartment for Thanksgiving, like my apartment complex, and I went to that, and that person was there, the one that I talk about sometimes in these videos, and she was there with that other person, that new person. And of course, it didn't hit as hard this time, as the first time, and it'll continue to get duller and duller, And that part of it didn't really hurt me as much, but I and I felt like running, I'd been talking to this guy that I walked up the stairs with, and we were talking about school and stuff, and so I had somebody to speak to, which was nice. It wasn't super insane conversation, but making those random conversations just with people, I know it goes a long way for them, and he seemed very happy to talk about what he wanted to do, and so I'm glad that I could be that that listener for him. And so anyway, there's food, and I got the food, and I sat down, and I was by myself, and there was this there's a couple of people sitting at a table near me, and one of them said, "Hey, do you want to come sit over here with us?" And that really, they may not know it, but that really, man, it meant so much to me. And I spoke with them, very nice people, and just so down to earth. We exchanged contact information, and the thing about this kind of stuff is that from a distance, I might have seen this person or seen some of these people in passing, and like you kind of have that like standard in your head of the kind of people that like you hang out with, and you might see a person who's like, yeah, I might not, like, I don't see myself ever being friends with them, but things like that, you really, I don't know, just a very faith in humanity restoring thing. And while I was there fighting my own head to not think about the certain other person that was there, I'm just so grateful. And after that, came home, and there's a hot tub in my apartment complex that I go out and I sit in sometimes, usually by myself, and I went out there, I was by myself for most of most of the time. And this other group came out later on who I've seen there multiple times, and I was like, man, they seem like fun people. I should really go talk to them. And I did, and it was good. It was really good. One of the guys there said, "Hey man, because we were talking about working out and exercise and stuff," and he was like, "Well, hey man, like we go ice jumping on Sundays." Because we're talking about like how after we work out, sometimes we'll come to the hot tub, but we don't want to be too quick to it because we want to cool off first and stuff. And he was saying how they go out and they go ice jumping, and he was like, "Do you want to go with us?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, that'd be sick." So, I've got that going on now, and I've got a few friends that, I can recognize and I can walk by and say, "Hey," or go to the hot tub and see, So it is, as far as that's going, it's getting better, and I'm putting myself out there more. On my way out of the hot tub, though, there was a couple guys. I think they were probably drunk, but they were kind of being rude to me because I was the last person to get out, and I wasn't purposely trying to be slow or anything, and I never know how to react when people are, obviously just messing with you, but they're being kind of rude about it. I never quite know what to say, and I always am afraid because on the one hand, I don't want to seem like I'm just, a pushover. So like I don't want to seem weak or whatever. So maybe I want to be aggressive back, but also I don't want to be aggressive back because I don't want to be mean to them as well. And I don't want them to feel like they've, I don't know, things like that really are hard to really know what to do, because it's just people who are being stupid, and you kind of just have to let it happen and then move on, which is what I was trying to do. I was trying to walk away fast because they were probably drunk, but I don't know. So that happens, and that's not a huge deal. But I got back home, and I felt a really big wave of sadness. And I took a shower, and I cried, and it's times like this, I don't really understand why. Like, I understand why I'm sad. I understand why there's kind of this ambient or underlying sadness that's going on, but and it gets better every day. But it's tough in those moments. But yeah, to kind of get it back on topic though, with realizing you have one life. When it comes to sadness and going through hard things and career expectations, everything, it's yours, It's your one life. It's nobody else's. It's you gotta let go of some things, and you gotta just stand up and really just take a hold of yourself and put yourself out there. And I've definitely done a lot more of that recently, and yeah, and yeah, but it's hard to fight that those underlying emotions. And so yeah, but you guys are so nice. All of your comments really make my day, and it's so refreshing and restores a lot of faith to me to know there's a lot of people out there experiencing similar things. And I'm gonna keep having these kind of waves of emotions where it's really high and then it's really low. And unfortunately, the lower parts are in the evening, which is when I record these, So it's hard to not get emotional, but I don't know. I hope that makes it feel more real, because I really, this is what this is for. I'm happy to just share my thoughts on things and kind of have something to just tell my day to. Of course, I journal that too. I call my parents. I talk to a lot of people, but this is something where it's a lot more personalized, and yeah. So, bit of a ramble, and wasn't super on topic for most of it, but I hope you kind of get the gist of what I'm saying, and I hope that you can take care of your own life and really have that realization that you have the one. So be good and be a light. So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.